What if one of the biggest problems in healthcare is not only access or cost, but the fact that people stopped believing they have a voice inside the system? What if patients have been trained to comply when actually what they need to do is have the confidence to ask better questions, request better experience, and expect dignity as part of care? Welcome back to Vital Signs. If you are loving what you're watching, stay connected to this show and every Now Media favorite, live, on demand, anytime, anywhere. Download the free Now Media TV app on iOS or Roku and unlock nonstop bilingual programming in English and Spanish. Prefer pods? Me too. Catch the podcast version at www.nowmedia.tv. From business and news to lifestyle, culture, and more, we are ready, streaming around the clock, ready when you are. I'm here with Shawn Gibbs. He is the CEO and co-founder of GIV Gowns, and we are continuing a conversation that is much bigger than patient attire. We're talking about advocacy, innovation, trust, and why some of the smallest changes create the biggest emotional impacts. Because when people feel dignified, they show up differently. They ask better questions. They participate more fully. They feel empowered. And in healthcare, that really matters. Shawn, some people might be looking at this and say, it's just a gown, but clearly it's much bigger than that.
Yeah, it's definitely not just a gown. There's a lot deeper issue there, right? My favorite word that I know we've come across in this show and in other segments that you've done is that word dignity. And it's dignity, as I like to define it, and as you can see it anywhere, is just when a person is inherently valued and respected, simply just for the fact that they're human, right? And this is a dignity thing because inherently, what a lot of people tend to do is when their dignity is not being addressed up front, they have an issue trusting whatever comes next. And conversely, when somebody is treated like they're respected and they're valued, trust is the inevitable next step in that journey, whether it's in healthcare or business or anything else. And when you get somebody that is trusting, the next step is confidence. People become confident participants in their healthcare journey, and then they're engaged. And when you get somebody that's engaged in their own healthcare, that benefits the person, it benefits the provider, it benefits the system, it benefits everything because you get better outcomes on the tail end. So it's not just a gown. It is an entire movement towards getting back to human-centered care, dignity-centered care, and getting to that at the root so that we can see better outcomes along the path.
So I want to get into some stories.
Let's
I want
do
you
it.
to tell me the stories behind these. Like, who doesn't want to have instant six-pack abs,
Yep.
or eight-pack abs? I mean, there's abs for days in this.
Captain America abs.
I mean, I would totally wear this. So tell me what reactions you get when a child gets a gown that looks like this, or the princess. I mean, I think it's great that you got the princess gown and I got the muscles.
Listen,
totally perfect.
I'm not above it. Not at all. Not at all. So these two gowns are part of what we call our hero collection. And the kind of the impetus and the driver surrounding these was there's a 12-year-old boy near the area where I live and had one of the friends of the family reach out and say, hey, he's going through some leukemia treatments. And I thought, man, that is so challenging for the kids, so challenging for the parents, and so easy to just like, oh man, I feel bad for him. Mm-hmm. And I thought there has to be a way where we can create something to where kids and parents, but especially kids, can disassociate themselves from their chronic illness. I didn't want this kid to feel like I'm just a leukemia kid now. I wanted him to feel like him and to be able to say, I'm still a kid fighting a thing, right? And so this is kind of where the hero collection was born. In that particular circumstance, we happened to make a gown that looked like a lacrosse jersey and had all of his teammates and his buddies sign it. And so when he goes in for treatments, he gets to say, I got all my lacrosse guys with me. This looks like my lacrosse jersey. Like, I'm a lacrosse player. Mm-hmm. I'm not a leukemia kid. I happen to have leukemia. And that's where these started. And the reason we call them hero gowns, obviously, is how do I get to look like a hero? How do I get to feel powerful and confident in those moments? And right now, we're actively engaged in seeking licensing, right, with different professional sports teams and, some of the big boys out there to say, what if this could look like their favorite hero? Mm-hmm. And it's, man, I'm going in for this infusion, this blood draw, whatever it may be. And man, I really want to look like this superhero or this character or this princess or whatever it is. So right now, these are generic versions, but hopefully not for long.
Okay, well, I want a story behind this one. Look at this. Isn't this adorable, folks?
Yeah, and the name makes me even happier. It's called the Mini, right?
Oh.
So if you've ever been in a hospital, and one of the things that broke my heart the most was doing rounds during training in hospitals and seeing these little itty bitty babies just in diapers in their little plastic cubicle, and they're just kind of flopping around in there, and the poor parents can't get in there, so they're just watching their baby from behind the screen. And I thought, man, there's got to be something for these babies that combines helping, especially the parents in that moment, feel comfortable, but also gives something to the providers. So these openings that you'll see in the gown, purpose built, right? I'm going to show you these things, but these are lead lines. The intention is for leads to be able to come out of these different areas, and it fastens down the front so the providers can get in there and get front access to the body, right? But the intention surrounding these is babies rip out lead lines all the time. They don't know what they're grabbing, so they'll just pull the lead off, and nurses are having to come in and be like, snap that back on. This takes it away from being up by their neck and all in their face, gets it out of here, and they also come in superhero and princess.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. So you get to see your baby behind those windows and be like, okay, well, at least they're warm and they're comfortable, but then it also creates a better workflow for the nurses and providers that have to come in. So changing the game of the NICU space.
Absolutely. And so tell me the comment that really struck you the hardest, that made you realize this is more than about clothing.
Yeah, 100%. That the young man I told you about earlier, the words, when I wear this, I don't feel sick. And if you're the parent of a child going through that, and they say, I don't feel sick.
Oh my goodness, yes.
That's gonna break your brain a little bit, and you'll do anything to help them not feel sick.
And the energy associated with I don't feel sick, that's an energy of healing, an energy of excitement, and it's somehow putting in to that child that extra oomph they need to get through their day.
Yeah.
So basically, folks, what Shawn has done is he's not only restored dignity, but he's also changed the energetics of the conversation. He's shifted the conversation to, hey, yeah, you can still have access to what you need, but I'm going to put on something that makes me feel good and makes me feel empowered, whether it's a hero outfit or just not having our, bits in the wind, so to speak. So I think it's fascinating that providers are embracing this too. Why are they embracing this?
I think it's because they see themselves in it, right? I mean, some of our earliest adopters are medical providers. I had a pediatrician that got a GIV gown, took it to her dermatology appointment, and said, this changed the game for me. I have to go into the dermatologist all the time. This is a medical provider, right? Had an ER doc that took in a GIV gown to after she had a surgery and recovered in that. And she did a whole post about it. I mean, these are independent of anything that I'm doing. They see themselves in it. They're humans. We oftentimes we put providers in a box and patients in a box, and we forget that, well, providers have to get healthcare too, and like to feel dignified too, and they just align with it. And some of the offices, some of the systems that are calling and wanting to integrate GIV gowns actually are coming on the tail end of patients taking in their GIV gown. We call it BYOG, bring your own gown. They're taking in their own gown, and then the providers are walking in saying, what is that? How do I get them? And so the patients are actually doing the work to sell into the providers, but I think it's because everybody can just align with it and they see themselves in there. And it's so interesting to me, Jen, that in every other avenue of our life, you and I woke up today and decided exactly what outfit we were going to wear. And you decided what car you drove here. And we decide all of that. And yet we walk into our healthcare experience and like, this is what you put on. This is what you will wear here. And why is that the one place where we are the most vulnerable and the most exposed, where it's like, okay, I don't feel comfortable in this at all, but I guess I will let you tell me what I get to wear now. It just makes no sense.
And so we are unfortunately getting to the end of our episode, but I do want people to understand how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah.
But before we do, listen, there's also a give back part to GIV Gowns. We don't have time to go into this, but there is a bigger mission associated with GIV Gowns that you can maybe reach out to Shawn and find out more, and how can they do that?
Yeah. Easiest way, our website, givgowns.com. You can email us at care@givgowns.com. And then we're on every social media platform on the planet. So that's our website. But yeah, love to hear from you and love to get involved in your lives and help give you a more dignified healthcare experience.
Listen, folks, and you guys know this is about actionable takeaways. Healthcare is not something that only happens to you. You are allowed to ask questions, seek options, advocate for your comfort, your dignity, and speak up when something feels unnecessarily dehumanizing. Expect care that respects your body and your humanity. Sometimes changing healthcare does not start with billion-dollar technology. Sometimes it starts by simply asking, why are we still doing this? Shawn, thank you so much for your expertise, for bringing this, for showing us that there's another option.
Yep. Lots of them.
And just for bringing the energy today.
Thank you, Jen. Appreciate it.
Folks, healthcare should never require you to surrender your dignity in order to receive care. The future of medicine is not just better technology, it's also more compassionate humanity. I want to thank Shawn for joining us and helping us rethink patient dignity, advocacy trust, and the small design choices that can change the entire healthcare experience. And for each and every one of you, I want to invite you to remember that your voice matters inside the healthcare system. Ask the questions, advocate for the comfort, bring a GIV gown so that you feel like dignified in your next appointment, and never assume that just because something has always been done a certain way, it cannot be changed. This is Vital Signs, and this is how we protect our greatest asset, our health. Unfortunately, all good things come to an end, including this show, but we'll be here same time, same station next week. Until then, have an amazing rest of your day.